Hell yeah. This is
That's another guy. It's like Kyle Smith. These guys who think they watch mafia movies and they're just like, man, it must be so cool to have friends.
no bullshit though. Matt is referencing a New York Post cultural critic and their movie guy, a guy named Kyle Smith, and he wrote an article a while back about why women don't get the movie Goodfellas or like the movie Goodfellas. It's just like, first of all, not true, and second of all, his point was women just don't understand. Guys just gotta have friends.
Who you will eventually stuff into the trunk of a car and shoot.
Yeah, I don't think he got the point of that movie. He's like, they're a bunch of good guys. They're loyal to each other. They have fun, and nothing bad happens.
Well, what does he elaborate on like how him and his friends were like the mafia in here?
Well,
Is it
yeah.
just like, oh yeah, we had an agreement. We wouldn't spit on each other. That's called respect. Out in the world, people just call me bald pussy, spit on me, put books into my hands so they can knock them out of them. Not here. We have a code, omerta.
See, that's why I think he was so shocked to have such a light turn up to the party, because he was like, I thought you guys were my friends. But it turns out that for him, friends are just the people who, when he meets them, they don't throw garbage at him. And it's like, dude, I just didn't have any on me at the time. I'm not your friend.
Well, Felix, to answer your question, he says, loyalty was the supreme virtue, with any other quality coming a distant second. You know, like humor, cleverness, wit.
Liking to talk, liking conversations with, enjoying being around them at all.
A just non-grotesque facial appearance.
It was on my stag weekend 15 years ago that the scales fell from my eyes. So 15 years
Wait a minute,
now.
he's been nursing this shit for 15 years? I thought that had just happened when he wrote that.
No.
He's like the fucking Count of Monte Cristo. Oh, one of these days, I'm biding my time, but I will one day denounce you in the pages of The Spectator.
Yeah. Well, cell phones are a dish best served cold.
He goes here. Toby has been officially friendless for 15 years now. He goes, there were about 10 people I placed in the innermost circle, my own personal Cosa Nostra. And I invited them all to Malaga a week before I got married. Or rather, my best friend invited them, having volunteered to organize the trip. He promised a whistle-stop tour of the most glamorous clubs in Marbella and enlisted the help of a well-connected...
You guys know what this guy looks like, right? You're just making sure.
And enlisted the help of a well-connected local DJ to smooth our passage.
Is that what it says on his business cards?
Yeah.
Well-connected local DJ.
And this is like when a made guy, goes to Japan and the Yakuza, they show him respect because there's a well-respected local DJ, men of honor, meeting each other.
We're soldiers, all going into the club to sweat in a corner, while Spanish Chads dance on the dance floor and intimidate us. But we have each other and Ometa.
He goes, I didn't think of this as an opportunity for a final blowout with my nearest and dearest, since it didn't occur to me that I'd be seeing any less of them after I got married. Innocent that I was, I thought of marriage as adding another person to my intimate circle, rather than the substitution of one for the other. Again, he must love his wife. She must love him too. I experienced a brutal reality check when only 4 of the 10 honored guests appeared at the Spanish Hotel on the Friday evening. The no-shows included my best friend, the organizer of the festivities. He left a message on my phone explaining that he'd been held up by, quote, an emergency and might be a few hours late. Needless to say, he never made it. But he'd fully briefed another member of the group, and he was more than happy to take the reins. Unfortunately, that friend didn't materialize either. We ended up spending the first night in an English pub watching West Ham lose 2-0 to Leeds United.
Oh my God.
It's like, all my friends are here. Dude, it's going to be decadent. We're going to every club in Spain. We're going to be taking E. We're at the phone party. And then they just like end up like fucking just eating too much, getting tired, and playing Big Buck Hunter.
To be fair, that sounds fun.
Yeah. It sounds way more fun than what they just sitting in silence watching.
A bunch of Spanish guys sweat on you.
Yeah. I mean, what they actually did, like the Big Buck Hunter thing does sound fun, but yeah, they just watched like Clittingham lose to fucking Hamville or whatever the fucking big teams are here. Next season in the series, hey, Toby? Just sitting around, like working up the courage to touch each other's shoulders, to console them about how hard it is to be a gooner. I think that's one of the things you do here. I don't know. Drinking, beer that you think's too cold because it's being served in another country. You're not used to it.
So he goes here, the low point. God, we haven't even got there yet.
Oh, no.
The low point was the activity on the Saturday. A scuba diving trip to some local caves, which my best friend had persuaded me to pay for on the understanding that everyone would pay me back. They might have to, too, if they'd bothered to turn up.
Are we sure this wasn't just like an elaborate Ocean's 11 style scam? All right, we get him to buy all of the scuba gear. Here's the twist from us. He doesn't know that we're actually the scuba company, and then we don't show up.
That's business. So he goes here, in the event, only 3 of us made the trip, with the other 2 refusing to get out of bed for the early morning start. It made no odds anyway because the scuba instructor decided to cancel the dive at the last minute on account of the heavy rain. He gave me a partial refund, but kept the deposit, which, if memory serves, was around 500 pounds.
The perfect crime.
As we puttered back to shore in the leaky fishing boat, the rain lashing our wetsuits, I had a moment of clarity. Yeah, and it should have been, I am a cunt. My belief in the unbreakable bonds of friendship was a sentimental illusion. No, it's just you, dude. It's just you. The true test isn't when you're in trouble. It's relatively easy to stand by your friends in their hour of need. Although, come to think of it, plenty of my friends have failed that test, too. It's whether they're prepared to inconvenience themselves for your benefit, particularly if it involves getting on a plane and shelling out a few hundred quid. Turned out 60% of the people I regarded as my closest friends weren't.
Well, I think I get it, though, because one of the things we talked about on the last show when we were talking about Toby is that his parents had to make a phone call to get him into university.
Yeah.
That's probably what happened with the friends. The parents called him up and be like, yeah, could your son just hang out with mine until he's about 45?
So we get him married off.
Ending up here, he says, in retrospect, it was a good lesson to learn just before getting married. After that, whenever there was a conflict between loyalty to Caroline and loyalty to my friends, I was never in any doubt about who came first.
I highly doubt it was her.
Caroline is the dog.
And there you have it. That's the story of how the 6 of us met.
So now that he's pretty much lost every job, and he did write another article recently about how no one invites him to Christmas anymore. It's like, dude, get a new act, man. Get some new material going on, Toby. But one of the jobs he has landed, and by job I mean like just sort of a charity make-work position for sort of a special needs person, and that is contributing editor to a magazine. If you don't know this, The Quillet. You guys like The Quillet?
The fuck's a quillet?
It's something for very smart people, okay?
Oh, I'm aware of the magazine, but like, is that a thing? Is a fucking quillet an item? What the fuck?
I think it's like a shaving razor or something like that. They want to let you know like how fucking smart and sharp they are.
No,
right?
it's a tiny pen.
Oh, sounds cool.
And the Quillet is they're standing up. They're standing up for standards. Against, like I said, the PC police and the people who want to dumb down education.
The people who prefer feelings to facts.
Yes. And Toby Young is a contributing editor, and I just came across this today. This is this is the height of smart people thought. Headline: A modest defense of the missionary position. Written by Marilyn Simon. Okay.
No, I mean, you make fun of it, but the American media wouldn't touch this. Because Big Cowgirl controls all of that shit.
I'm really pissed because just yesterday I gave my broker instructions to short missionary stocks. God damn it. My timing's always terrible.
So I saw this headline and I was just dumbfounded. I was like, what the? I wasn't aware the missionary position
conflict,
was under attack from.
Yeah. This doesn't even rise to the level of animosity people might have about pineapple on pizza. No one really gets mad about this.
Yeah, exactly. There are people who are right and hate pineapple on pizza.
Yeah.
Correct. Those
And then there are people
correct.
who are wrong.
It's disgusting.
Okay.
But also, even if we were to write that, if we were to write that essay, it wouldn't be 10,000 words long.
Not only have I never heard anyone condemn the missionary position as an act.
The noble missionary position.
I have never even heard anyone in the feverish social justice hothouse of online say that it's colonialist to call it that. I've literally never heard anyone say anything bad about it. Who is he talking about?
Well, now you're giving them ideas.
Yeah, no one take that idea. We do not need to infect the fucking bloodstream of the internet with that, please.
Wait, is this by Richard Dawkins?
So I'm just gonna start reading this. It says here, in our culture of sexual permissiveness, of free and open pornography, it might do well to occasionally remind ourselves that the missionary position remains the go-to for the vast majority of us. I got news for you. I'm sorry, it remains the go-to for the vast majority of pornography as well.
And he knows.
He's laughing because
Cell
he knows.
phone.
I'm telling on yourself, Will.
I was watching TV in England, okay? After 11 o'clock, that's just what's on over here.
That's true. We were in London and we had the TV on and we watched this delightful 80s culture clash comedy. And then all of a sudden there was a softcore porn movie from the 70s featuring a bunch of nude women who looked like they might have had cholera. I don't know.
At a time when sexuality and gender are being hotly debated in the media, across campuses, high schools, and even primary school, my grade 3 daughter recently expressed anxiety about feeling pressured to decide whether or not she was bi, or rather BI, as she called it.